I'm going to take you to back here to when the takeover first came about, and Bruce was. We finally got rid of Bruce, and remember the first name that was going to bring in was Unai Emery. We was all getting ready to say good evening and all the rest of it, and obviously we ended up getting Eddie Howe. And now look how both managers have progressed with both teams. Would you now swap either managers for each other, like Eddie Howe for Mr. Good Evening, or not?
Editing, yeah, editing. Even at that time, I wasn't fully sold on Emery, but I was going to appreciate who the owners brought in.
Mm.
Eddie Howe, I always liked. I thought he was the right man because there's no ego here. He's not got a point to prove, even though everyone said he's useless, but he just came in humble. And I look at the journeys now, I promise you, Unai Emery is not doing what Eddie Howe did. Nah, right now, he's not. Eddie Howe's done what I never thought could happen in football to Newcastle. But if I watch my team now and I ask myself question, how is Jacob Murphy squaring like that? Like, it's just a madness to watch. And I don't think Unai Emery could have done that for us. Eddie Howe just got it, man. He just fit perfectly. So no, I would not swap them around. I wouldn't swap them around even if you were in fourth.
Mm. Pete?
Not for me. You guys know this anyway. But even back when we had Steve Bruce, I wanted Eddie Howe. I wanted him to be our next manager. I respect the work that Eddie Howe's done, and he's surpassed himself even more because he's gone out of his way to improve his managerial game. So he's even better than he was when I first originally wanted him at the club. Look, with all the talk of Unai Emery, is Unai Emery a good manager? He is a very good manager, a good tactician. He's proven that by winning big trophies, European trophies, Europa League, 3, 4, 5 times. You know, he's proven his credentials. He's a good manager, but will I change him for Eddie Howe now? No, because I don't believe any manager would have come in and done what Eddie Howe did. The way he's come in to Newcastle and not only changed the way we are right now as a club, but what he did initially. Joe Linton, would Emery made Joe Linton a better player? Shaw, Miggy, he could
Murphy.
have probably just got Murphy. He probably would have just got rid of all those players rather than work with them. But Eddie Howe is proven that he can make players better and not just sign players for the sake of it. So for me, Eddie Howe all day for me. Eddie Howe all day. He's proven himself to be one of the top managers in the Premier League right now, and deservedly so.
Got a great question in here from Craig. What's Eddie's ceiling? Does anyone know? And I think that piggybacks well off the previous question in comparison to the two, because I think part of the reasons why obviously we was going to bring in Unai Emery is because of his European credentials and all the rest of it. He's won leagues and trophies and all the rest of it, Premier League and all the rest of it. He's got experience with Arsenal, whereas Eddie Howe doesn't have that yet. So that's a good question from Craig. Like, what is Eddie's ceiling? Like, so far so good. He's got to a Carabao Cup final, great. Looking like a top 4 finish, but where can we go with him from there? Because there's some people saying, is he going to be in for a couple of years and then we need another manager to take us to the next level, or can he take us to the next level with?
But he's already taken us to the next level.
But you know what I'm saying about the next level? We'll talk about like European football being a force, not just like dipping in and out of Europe. Like, okay, we're there to stay in Europe.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say what someone's ceiling is. You're only judged by your performances. So if he wins a trophy, his ceiling is he's the next best thing. But then you can go on the Baron run and not win a trophy again after that. So I feel like I just want him to win a trophy. Once he wins a trophy, it doesn't really matter after that. Rafa's got so many trophies, but people don't talk about him like, one of the greatest managers. And he's won at the highest level. So I feel like Eddie just needs to get into that bracket of that Rafa zone where he's been respected for winning. Remember, Rafa won La Liga with Valencia. He's always held, they always love him for that. And that's what I want for Eddie Howe. Then you can discuss whether he's on the Peps or the Marino levels all you want. But he wins a trophy with us, 2 or 3, and then he gets to the Champions League regularly. He's already set himself as a top manager. And from then on, his credentials fly, But in terms of calling out his ceiling, I feel like he's a good manager, and with more investment, you will see what levels he can go to. But to call out his ceiling and say he's going to be a Pep and stuff like that, it's hard to say.
For me, Pete, before we go on to your opinion, I just want to say, like, for me, his ceiling's got a lot taller, a lot bigger, just due to the last couple of weeks where he's showing that he's actually got a plan B. Like the masterpiece, the masterstroke at halftime that he did against Brentford, was set again, making those two changes as quick as he did, changing the game round, bringing off Murphy and Longstaff, bringing in Gordon and Wilson, changed the game there. The fact that he's bringing on so many different players in the likes of Joe Linton, like look at him now, look at some of the signings that he's brought in as well. So that's what's extended his for me.
I feel like his ceiling will only be ruined if he did what a Potter did and left Newcastle thinking the grass is greener. Then you go to a club where it's just chaos, right? With Eddie, if you allow him to do what he's doing in Newcastle, look, think about it like this, yeah? Remember last season when I said on the stream the other day, we went to the warm weather training, we had a bit of a dip, then we went on a mad run again. How is Eddie Howe getting us to do 5-6 games winning? Not unbeaten like, oh, we drew 3 and 1-2. Like, we win 5 in a row. That's crazy to do in the Premier League. That's an elite manager with Sean Longstaff in your team for majority of the season. That's crazy. And keeping clean sheets, not conceding mad goals. This guy's a very good manager. I think it's because he's English and he managed Bournemouth. We're not ready to give him flowers. If his name was Eddie Howe and he knew, he'd be Ballon d'Or, Murphy. But that's the levels he's at.
You love those names. Pete, talk to us, man.
Yeah, I think I don't think there is a ceiling to Eddie Howe. I think I think what he can achieve is completely down to him and what resources are given to him and what he's allowed to do at Newcastle United. Given the time, I think patience is the right word. If we're patient enough as a club, as a fan base, and we work with Eddie Howe, I think he can achieve great things. I think he can be one of our longest reigning managers that we've seen in certainly my lifetime, supporting Newcastle. And I think with that can allow us to win big trophies. Craig put it in the chat, and I fully agree. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Eddie Howe could be, with Newcastle, the first manager to win the Premier League, the first English manager, should I say, to win the Premier League, and that holds weight. That will hold weight not only with Newcastle. If he wins a trophy with us, he'll have a statue ready made for him anyway, and that will give him longevity. The fact that he's done that will give him time to then go on and continue the good work. But what it would do if he won the Premier League with Newcastle United, it would give him massive respect worldwide. The media, Sky, Europe, all the big teams then stand up and respect him. When Ranieri won the league with Leicester, it was a miracle, but they knew Ranieri because he'd already done the business before in other countries. So he already had that credential there. With Eddie Howe, that puts him onto a different stratosphere of manager, and really sets him apart from any other English manager that we've ever had, really. And that for me holds more weight than anything.